Okay, guys, today I'm gonna make an oldie but a goodie. This is a deep southern goodie that's known down there in the bayou. I'm gonna make some sweet peas, shrimp, andouille. This is a Cajun style andouille. I have minced down I have minced it completely down. A green onion, garlic, an onion, and celery. Okay. This time I'm gonna fry the sausage. It's not normally you don't see me fry it, but I'm gonna fry it this time. Then I'm gonna take that oil from that sausage. I'm gonna add some butter to it later, and I'm gonna make a good roux with it. Okay, I'm gonna make a top of the line roux. You guys are gonna love this, and I'll see you soon on part 2 of the sweet Cajun peas and shrimp. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good one. This is going to be a good one, all you YouTubers out there. So we're going to brown this up. We're going to get the oil coming out of the sausage. We're going to brown those sausages a little bit. But what we're not going to do is we are not going to brown the bottom of that pan. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to take the oil off of that, and we're going to make a nice sweet roux with it. And then we're going to add the celery, the green onions, the garlic, and the white onion. Okay, then we're going to add the shrimp later. We don't want them to go too fast. But what we're going to do is we're going to brown this, and we're going to watch it go for a minute. And as we watch that go, naturally I'm going to take a couple sips off my beer. My grandmother, Equator Baptiste, used to always cook with a beer. And boy, she used to start with them early in the morning down there in that little country town of Ashby, Louisiana. Miss Comey. Yes, I do. All right, my YouTube friends, we're going to continue to brown that out. That oil is building up. And I started that off in a skillet with a little olive oil, 100% virgin olive oil. Because remember, that olive oil has that oil that pushes out all the other bad oils out of your body. Okay? And sometimes you'll see me, I might cook this, I might have this with a little rice, but sometimes you see me do it with a little yellow grits. The reason I do that is because those grits are low in sugar. So those of you who are suffering from diabetes or have a high sugar, you want to have that grits around for you, whether it be some white grits or yellow grits. It's good for your sugar, and it keeps your sugar low, believe it or not. It tastes just like rice anyway, and it's healthier for you. Okay, so I'm going to lower that fire a little more because I don't want too much browning in there. And then I'm going to make us a nice little roux with that. I'm going to brown that. I'm browning it for flavor. I'm not browning it to cook it, believe it or not. I'm browning it for flavor. I could boil it and cook it. I could let it go in there for a while and cook it that way. But I'm browning it for flavor so it can flavor out. Boy, that Sapporo is a good beer those Japanese are making. Nice and clean. Yeah.
Oh, looking good.
Oh, you like that, huh?
Yeah.
What's going on with you, girl?
Good.
This is my little chef's helper right here. This is my chef's helper.
Hello.
Don't get burnt up over in here, chef's helper.
No.
Speaking of that, chef's helper, can I have a white towel, baby?
Sure.
Thank you. I like to wipe my stove as I go, believe it or not. That way there's not much cleanup afterwards. So I kind of like to keep it clean as I'm going. But now I'm low frying that sausage so it doesn't get too crazy on me. Well, I'm going to bring that oil out of there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're going to continue to brown up here a little bit. I think that's brown enough for where I'd like it to be. I got my oils right where I want them. Oh yeah. Now, I've had some folks tell me about making a roux. I made a gumbo one time. Boy, I get a lot of feedback on that gumbo, and I want to thank you guys for following and doing those feedbacks, whether they're positive or negative. But I had somebody tell me, hey, no roux, no gumbo. Hey, you better figure out, them folks down in Louisiana, they don't make a roux with every gumbo, no. You better figure that out. And there's a such thing as what's known as a roux-less gumbo. You know, that old Google has a little bit of everything on there. Google, if you will, a roux-less gumbo. And you're going to find out you don't need a roux for everyone. But when you make a roux, you better know what you're doing. I'm going to tell you that right now. And there's multiple ways of making it. But I'm going to show you how to make a super flavorful roux. Okay? Now, as you see what I've done, is I've got these oils in this pan. See that? All that flavor I put in there. Put that butter in there. I'm going to bump that fire back up. You better know what you're doing when you're making a roux now. Some folks, and there's no right or wrong when you're cooking. Your cooking is to your flavor profile and the way you like it. But know the difference between having a roux and not having a roux. Okay, so in goes the celery. In goes the green onion. In goes the garlic. When you're making a good roux, you got to have garlic because garlic is going to brown. And that garlic is going to help your roux turn brown also. And let's say your roux is not brown enough. You just learning how to cook, or you just coming into the kitchen with us, and you know you've been hung up with COVID, and you know you're normally not doing a lot of cooking, and you didn't get it brown enough. What you do if you didn't get it brown enough?